This is a brief update. I've just finished with most of your, well, except for one or two that didn't play. And I've already emailed you about those. I've finished with your introductions. They were excellent. I'm going to give you a bit of information. This week, I'm trying to hit some basic questions you may have, and also to talk about the legal aspect. Now, the laws are not going to be something you're going to be arguing about or representing in court. They are things you refer to. That's why on Thursday, when I brought in that information about the Justice Department and the website for the for the Nebraska Department of Education, or your state, if it's Iowa or Virginia or whatever state, you will have regulations there too. Laws are not usually the purview of where the ESL teacher gets involved within law enforcement. Your enforcement is by persuasion and not by threatening people with lawsuits. However, I wanted you to know the basis for it. They are entitled, ESL kids, English learners are entitled to a basic education like any kids. They can't be barred from it because of citizenship status, etc. Several states have tried that. Now, I haven't put down each week what the theme is because I kind of wanted to get these introductions. Next week, starting on Sunday, and maybe a little before there, my focus is going to be on language learning, because you need to know how languages are learned. You need to know not so much the legal aspect of it, but the actual process, the development. So I'm going to be providing information to inundate you as well as I can with documents and with some videos on on language. For instance, how are first and second languages learned? Are they learned differently? There is some arguments about that. What about kids coming in that have limited English? How long does it take to become proficient in spoken English versus how long does it take to be be pretty good in written English and what we call academic English? And you need to know these things because you're going to have to explain them to other people that may want to argue with you. And they say that Muhammad's been here from Somalia for 4 years and he can't write a paragraph, or he has certain struggles. I'm going to talk about some of those. And also something we're going to do this week. You know, we have the Tuesday afternoon meeting with Allison Olson of the Nebraska Department of Education. And I'm going to invite all of you that can to be there. I'm going to record it for those who can't so I can post it. But I want to have, in addition, I want to do a Zoom session. And I've kind of got a list of people, but everybody will be invited. But there's certain individuals, as I listen to your background, kind of wanted to include you, and especially especially people that went through being ESL students themselves, went through ESL programs. I remember there was one that was age 13, Elvira, I think. I hope I said that right. But I would like to have you in on that. Now I'm going to email some other people. And it's always best to hear from the mouth of the people that experienced it, what it's like to learn a second language under the conditions of being an immigrant or whatever, refugee in the United States. So I don't expect to say 5 words. I'm just going to ask some questions. So I'll probably schedule that for probably for Wednesday, but I'll see. And it'll be available to everybody to attend and to participate in. All right. I want to thank you for your wonderful introductions. I'm convinced this is the best way to go. I don't care if you write them out and read them to me, but I still appreciate the human contact, I've been getting ready for a wedding. I've been trying to buy masks of all types. Got this one at Menards. It says N95, but it's technically not a medical mask, but you get what you can get. And I will be doing my video on Sunday, and then we're going to look at language this week. That's going to be our focus. Now, just to let you know what's in the future, I've got a book I didn't have you buy, but it's very useful. It's called Advocating for English Learners. There are almost no books like this in existence. And it talks about hiring staff, dealing with administrators. It's great stuff. And and I may have one of these. This is advocating in general, and I'm going to get some copies of parts of it to you. I would suggest you buy the book. I'm going to try to highlight some things. So that's very important. So I'll be doing that over the next 2 or 3 weeks. So this week's going to be language. We're going to talk about issues with language. I want a lot of input. We got a doctor with a linguistics in the class, Anita, is a doctorate. And I'm really happy about that. And we got a lot of people that learned English as second language. And we have some individuals had some interesting trips overseas where they've experienced being in situations where they had to learn language. A lot of emotion is attached to this. I also have a book that I'm going to summarize, but it's a book I used to use, but not very much of it. And it's called Common Myths. Common Myths About Literacy and Language Diversity in the United States. Kind of a top 10 list, kind of like David Letterman used to do. All right, well, that's all. I just want to give you a little update and how pleased I am. And I take very detailed notes. So, when you talk, I'm just writing. This is so much better than reading and then writing what was already written. So thank you. And if anybody has any, needs to add another, their video, there was one that didn't play and I cannot think who it is. I did email you. Kaylee, one of the Kayleys. So anyhow, thank you.